Planning. So, you get your exam paper back, and it's not what you thought it was going to be. You've gotten a bad mark, the teacher said you haven't answered the question, you've gone off topic, it was too short, it was too rambly, it was too boring. This is a problem that students face from common entrance all the way through to university, masters, PhD. And the reason why this happens is because you haven't planned the answer. So today, what we're going to talk about is planning your answer. How can you successfully plan your answer so you're going to get the best possible mark? You've got to plan your answer. There is no point writing for an extended period of time, wasting your time by not planning. You read the question, you think you know what the answer is, so you start writing. You kind of lose the thread about 10 minutes in, and you think, oh, I don't know what to write, I don't know where this is going, what was the point of the question? You get stuck in this downward spiral. So the answer to this is to plan your answer. When you read the question, plan it out. Planning is everything. Not just in academia, not just when you're doing your exams or your essays or your coursework. In life, planning is essential for success. But we're talking specifically about planning answers that could be, for example, a descriptive piece in a common entrance exam. It could be an A-level history question. It could be your dissertation. The planning aspect of it, though the times may vary, are crucially important. Planning is everything. But I don't have time to plan. It's a waste of time. Wrong. You have time, and it is essential that you plan what you're doing. If you don't plan what you're doing, it's going to be lame. Straight out. Planning focuses your mind on the question. It allows you to pick it apart, to understand the nuances, really get to grips with what it deals with and what they want from you. Also builds the through line through your answer, the thread that hangs it all together, that keeps it making sense. If you don't have a through line, then you're writing some random stuff that's not going to get a very good mark. Planning keeps you on track. Answering the question clearly in a strategic and planned fashion with structure is going to reduce the likelihood of you going off topic and talking a load of old bollocks. So how are we going to plan this thing? Right, you need to, when you read the question, underline the key words and key phrases. They're going to be your bedrock. They're going to be your foundation for your answer. Pick them out, write them down. It's spider diagram time. Brainstorm the ideas. Assess each individual component. Write it down. What is associated to it? What's the connotations? What subjects, themes, data, evidence, opinions might you need to bring in that are related to that subject, to that aspect of the question? Look at what you've created. It should look a little bit crazy, like you've just spewed out your brain onto the page. So go back through it, start numbering the ideas, group them together, work out which ones are good and which ones are not so good. Pick the best ones. This is going to form the basis, the skeleton of your essay. It's crucially important that you do this because you're going to be picking it apart, you're going to be finding out the important aspects of the question, and also you'll be coming up with more ideas as you do this. The connotations and what it's related to are going to help you think about more ideas. The more ideas you have, the more broad your answer is going to be in terms of information that you can draw in to back up your argument. This structure that you're going to use is going to be critical. This strategic, structured approach is going to show the examiner or your teacher or whoever's marking the exam that you understand that there is a process to answering a question. That it's not just, okay, here's my answer. That you understand that to truly answer a question, you need to think about it methodically, one step at a time. You have your main argument that runs throughout the entire piece. And each paragraph or each sentence, depending on how long the thing is going to be relating to an aspect of your main point. With this, you're going to need the age-old, tried, true technique of point, evidence, explanation. Each time you say something strongly, say something well, you're going to need evidence to back up your ideas. Evidence is great to back up your ideas, but you're also going to need to back up that evidence with an explanation. Explain why that is relevant to your point and why that point is relevant to the question. Answering the question all the time through. This is why planning is critical, because you can see now how each aspect of the argument fits together to answer the question. The question is at the top, your answer flows, and it flows in a straight line. You're not going off on random tangents talking about a load of all bollocks. You are going straight to the heart of the question, and this is why planning is essential. If we're thinking about the brainstorm aspect of it, what are we going to be doing with that? Well, you're going to need to try and fit that into some kind of introduction, argument, conclusion. It's the old school way of answering an essay. It might not be long enough to warrant the 5-paragraph introduction, 3 argument paragraphs conclusion. It might just be a short 10-mark question, but there is no reason that you can't employ the same technique to write a successful answer. This is going to be even more important if you're writing something like a dissertation, for example, where you've got 10,000 words to play with. You need to get the plan in place, the strategy of how it's going to work, because if you don't, you're going to lose sight of the question very quickly. So, have the introductory line, rephrasing the question, tackling it head on, stating the outline of your argument. This is the introductory part. It could be a sentence, could be a paragraph, could be a chapter, depending on what you're writing. But you need the introduction. The introduction opens the answer up. Imagine it like an inverted triangle. I can't get my elbows together. But we have the introduction at the top, broad in the topic, tackling the question, opening the question, allowing you to get inside your answer. Each successive paragraph or sentence is going to be focusing down and down and down and down to the conclusion. The arguments are going to be where you're talking about your points, your evidence, and your explanations, relating it always back to the question. When you get down to the conclusion, this is where you bring all the data together. You summarize your argument and you give your final judgment. Remember, answers need to be clear, concise, and consistent. To be clear, concise, and consistent, you have to plan. It's going to focus your mind. It's going to get you thinking about not just the question, but the connotations of the question. It's going to easily lay out your ideas in a methodical, strategic way someone else can understand. Our minds are crazy. The way we think is mental. If you put that on a page, someone might not be able to get on board with what you're talking about. You need to lay it out in such a way that someone who has no idea of the subject matter, no idea of the question, can read the question, read your answer and think, yeah, that makes sense. It's thoughtful, it's well structured, and it's clear. It's not too long, and it is consistent. It is consistently answering the question, each paragraph or each sentence. That's how you get successful. That's how you write a successful answer. You've got to read the question, like I said last time, but without planning, you will write something that is lame. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope it's been a revelation for those who've never thought that planning was important. For those who do plan, I hope it's given them a little bit more motivation to plan, to see the importance in planning. So, how to summarize, how to recap, how to bring it all together. Read the question, plan your answer, be concise, clear, and consistent. Next time, we're going to be talking about motivation, one of the most fundamentally important aspects of studying. Why the hell you should try so hard with your studies. What's the point? Take care, and I'll catch you next time. See you guys.